Talking about Ryan O'Hara, he was a mechanic on board the Black Hawk that collided with a passenger plane in D.C. just days ago, and he was actually stationed here at Hunter from 2020 to 2023. I spoke with his parents earlier today, and they told me they moved here to be close to him when he was stationed here, and they were planning on him moving back after his time in D.C., though unfortunately, tragedy struck, and that's when everything changed for them.
The idea was that we were hoping it was going to be an extended home, family home, and we could all potentially live out here together, me and Ryan and Taryn.
But that's not what happened.
I'm watching the news as the story's breaking, so immediately I'm texting him, and I'm getting the text message comes through with an error and says, cannot deliver to the service. So now I'm really starting to panic. There's many helicopters at his group, They could all be up in the air doing different things. It didn't have to be him, but I just knew. I just knew it was him.
A father's instinct.
At 10 o'clock the next morning, I see a car pull up with the U.S. Army symbol on it, and two soldiers get on out, and you get to live a nightmare you never wanted to go through. We had already known by then, but I don't know, something about two men showing up at your front door just changes
makes it really official.
Yeah, because you don't even want to open the door. If I don't open the door and I don't talk to you, then it's not going to really be real. One thing to hear about your child passing away, it's another thing to be actually witnessing it, and then witness it
watching it over and over again.
Over and over and over again.
And in the hours after, that news coverage morphed into coverage of the president's remarks about the tragedy, the White House casting blame on DEI requirements in the military.
You had a pilot problem from the standpoint of the helicopter. They actually came out with a directive to white, and we want the people that are competent.
I just don't think that was the time to even bring things like that up. All the family members of the people on the plane and the 3 crew members on the Black Hawk, they're all grieving badly. And of course we would like answers. We'd like to know what happened, but not to point fingers at people, for them to learn something from it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
But Gary isn't focusing on the investigation right now. He's just thinking about his son, a decorated soldier, a loving son, a proud father. But most of all, Ryan O'Hara was someone who was always willing to put others before himself.
Messages through Facebook from people that I never even met, that had worked with Ryan. One guy told me, I met your son, we were at base together, my car died, the clutch went out. And your son offered to bring the car on base, and we stripped the whole car apart, and he fixed it, and he's like, I didn't even know who the guy was, and he spent his whole weekend rebuilding my car. I mean, that's really who Ryan was.
A spirit and a legacy, the O'Haras say, will live on through their memories and through Ryan's young son.
That little baby isn't going to get to know how wonderful he really was. But for me, he looks just like Ryan. I can't wait to see him, because maybe this is like a do-over for us to participate in his life.
So some very powerful words there, and an emotional day for the O'Hara family. And they tell me it likely won't be getting any easier in the coming days, as they are headed to D.C. later today for funeral services to honor Ryan. Reporting in Savannah, Christine Quayle, WSAV News 3, on your side.